Curiosity killed the cat. I like how you approached that. You were very much like.
Here are some options.
You were like. So.
Whereas I'd be like,
yeah.
I want to go get Thai food with my friends. You can come if you want to, but that's what I'm doing.
Right. Basically, yeah, that's the translation. That's the blunt translation. Like, I'm gonna get Thai food. You can come if you want, but I really don't want you to come.
When he's home, you wouldn't believe what I go. I love to serve.
Yeah.
Serve up a meal and I like it. So I have all the tables set, all the food's on the table, hot, ready to go. Then I put the dog food under the TV stand, like the TV's up high, and I put it there, and then I go sit down. So now I'm sitting at the table, everything's ready, the dog is waiting for the food, and Brian comes in with the dog food, puts the dog food down, and then sits down, and then we all eat.
You all eat together.
That's by my design.
That's awesome.
Because I want everyone to start eating at the same time. And I hate when the dog eats first and then she's just looking at us while we eat.
Like Mr. Sweetman over here. With everyone. So yeah, this episode I'm going to talk about constructed decks. I really won't have a lot, so maybe this episode will be a little bit more compact.
Okay.
Yeah, just it's fine. Speaking of that, I just want to make sure you have the MTG Arena Pro on my deck list.
That's why I had Google open. I didn't sign in though.
Who's little Snoop Man? Who's little Snoop Man? Who's little Snoop Man? Who's little Snoop Man? Who's little Snoop Man?
I just want to see what's making you smile like that.
I'm just watching the meter go. Who's a little Snoop Man?
Please don't ever do that again.
Security alert. Yeah, it's me. Follow along with Rich.
Schmal along with Switch.
You're taking schmal everywhere in your life.
Yeah, I know.
What are you gonna think you're on
There. Oh yeah. So many decks. Hey, what happened to them? I had to click the deck thing. What happened? Decks. Are they already there? Okay, there they are. Stay, don't disappear. Close. Okay, there they are.
What's the top one?
Calyx Grind?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And what's the second one say?
Blue White Flyers.
Wow, okay. I just updated that like a second ago. I didn't know if it was going to take right away. Alright, cool. That's fine.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm glad Listen, how loud's yours? Can't do it. Your son's like such a sad little queen. I like it.
Are you licking your palm before you do that?
No.
I used to do it to my dog all the time. I'd be like, oh, what do I have? What do I have? And he'd be like, fuck. And then I'd be like,
Alright. Episode 33.
Welcome to episode 33. Are we sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
Of Mythic Legendaries, a podcast about Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone, brought to you by two old friends who love podcasts and games we play. My name is Mark Sapphire.
My name is Monk Sapphire.
No, my name is Mark Sapphire.
My name is Rich G.
Hello, Rich G.
Hi, how's it going?
Great.
Great.
We have Rachel in the house again
If I had an air horn, I'd shoot it.
for episode 33, 2 weeks in a row. This is incredible.
Nice.
God, thanks for
know.
being here. You coming by the studio 2 weeks in a row.
So much travel.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
This is gonna have to be every week because last week we had one of the best episodes because you were here, and this week again.
That'd
So
be even better. So
thanks for being here. Feel free to chime in whenever you have a thought.
Will do.
Okay. This week, on the magic side of the table, Rich is gonna. I already said magic. On the Hearthstone side of the table, did I just eat one of your edibles? No. I'm gonna be talking about Galakrond's Awakening Week 4, the last week, the most powerful week, leading up to the ultimate collection of the most power we have seen this year in the Year of the Dragon. Very exciting. This is going to be a great week for Hearthstone.
Yeah.
8 new cards. Going to be talking about those. And also have an Ask Rich.
Yes.
For the end of the show.
One of my favorite.
What's going on with Magic?
Magic is a hard game.
Yes.
I don't know how people consistently progress on the ladder
Okay.
because the situations I run into are just so they're just disheartening. Like you get to a point and then you're playing the same deck and then you just get run over and then you switch decks and then you just kind of downward spiral a little bit. And I don't know, I've been playing a few decks and just trying to rank up and stuff, but experiencing a few problems. Even playing decks that are I've 100% abandoned the whole build my own thing and trying to okay, let's play the top 3 decks that are happening. And even with those, I'm just getting run over, and also getting run over by things that are I swear my opponent is playing a starter deck, stupid little things that are
This is not even ranked,
Right,
it's not even on the website.
yeah, this card is never played by anyone except this one person out of the millions who play Arena, and I'm losing to it because this number 1 tier deck just doesn't have an answer to it, which is just crazy. But yeah, I'm just going to go over some of the decks I've been playing and my results with them. And I also want to say that I know it's not just the deck, right? We've said this before.
Mhm.
I mean, as a player, you need to know how to play the deck. And I've played enough to know how to navigate certain styles of decks and how they're supposed to be played. So I'm not saying that it's all the deck's fault, and I'm not saying it's all the luck of the draw fault, and I'm not saying it's all my fault for being bad at playing them, but it's just a weird first week in the ranked ladder, getting put back to silver and then losing 2 ranks of silver and then having to get all back up to gold and then getting 2 ranks all the way up into gold and then this morning losing a rank and a half of gold, playing a tier 1 deck because I couldn't find an answer to a 2/2 flyer.
So it's
so it's just
you
super
get fed up and
frustrating.
you're I'm just gonna play the top deck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even that's
Even
not
that,
working.
and even you play for 4 hours and you just seesaw back and forth and you're I made 0 progress. But
Did you get a haircut?
no, I got all of them cut.
Oh! Dude, but it looks good.
I got my hair cut
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
Well, you combed it
Way
today.
to notice.
You fucking combed it today.
That's valid.
No, I like short on the sides.
Yeah, high and tight.
Side part.
A little high and tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look sharp.
Thanks. But yeah, I'm just gonna cover that stuff, some standard stuff, some my experiences with top tier standard decks.
Okay,
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
So let's jump right in.
Yeah. Cannonball.
All right. So we have 8 cards. 4 League of Explorers, 4 League of Evil, And we have 2 commons, 2 rares, 2 epics, and 2 legendaries. And we're going to go through them by rarity.
All right.
First card, we're going to go with the commons. And
Is this, sorry, to follow along, is this on the same, can I follow along on the same page that I was looking at before?
I did it.
Oh, it's
I
on the
did it.
right. I see it. Right here.
So you can.
Got it.
You can,
Got it.
but if
Got
you
it.
want to look at what I'm looking at,
All
that's
right.
better.
Yep, go for it.
Shotbot. Shotbot is a League of Explorers card. It's a paladin card, and it's a 2/2 for 2. Sorry, I had
Suck on that Dr.
yeah,
P.
these pretzels were milled. These are fresh
Those
milled.
are fresh milled pretzels.
So
Hey, shout out to One Mighty Mill Pretzels, the best pretzels ever.
it's a meal.
Yeah.
It's like real food.
If anybody sees those pretzels in the store and you're like, what are these? You should definitely get
Yeah,
them.
it feels like you're really eating
Yeah.
real food. Not sometimes they're like super crispy and you're like there's
They're
like
airy
hardly.
and like
Yeah.
No, these are hearty pretzels.
They are hearty. They're
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And very good with lemon hummus. Thank you, Rachel.
I got you.
We have a 2/2 reborn mech for 2 Shotbot, and it's a great mech paladin card.
It looks pretty simple. 2/2 reborn, it just comes back as a 2/2, right?
It comes back as a 2/1.
Oh, right. Things come back as a 1 when they're reborn, right?
It's been said in the comments that this is good in Quest Paladin, and I'm just gonna say absolutely, because Quest Paladin gives you Emperor Wraps, and Emperor Wraps is a hero power that reads summon a 2/2 copy of a friendly minion. So this is another, so basically Quest Paladin runs all reborn minions,
Okay.
and then once you complete your quest, then you can start making copies of these reborn minions, and life just gets very difficult once you start copying like Taunt,
Right.
Taunt, Divine Shield, reborn minions. Like gets
It's hard to deal with.
pretty bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that invention Jim wanted to make mayonnaise? Banana-based mayonnaise?
No.
No. You said bananas and that made me think of mayonnaise.
Banana-based mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Banana flavored mayonnaise. Bananas.
Bananas.
Holy shit! That's genius.
Said it like 20 years ago, and anytime I hear the word banana or mayonnaise, I think of bananas.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like mayonnaise, but I would try it for Jim.
Like a banana, but not like mayonnaise. Just like banana puree, like a banana spread.
Oh,
but like called
it's not
bananas.
a banana spread
Like-
called bananas.
Right. Like instead of it being eggs and whatever,
Yeah.
have it be just banana and like whatever.
Yeah, like peanut butter fluff with bananas would be dope.
Boom.
Oh my god.
We're gonna have that ice cream bananas.
Yes.
We'll kick back Jim like 1% or 0.5% or something. Yeah.
0.5%.
Yeah.
All right.
He came up with a name. He didn't come up with the actual recipe, so that's. Oh wait, we just gave it away.
We're gonna give him a little more than 1%.
He doesn't deserve it.
I don't know.
All right, card 2.
All right. Sorry.
It's my fault.
Jim, I love you. I miss you. And I'm gonna catch you one of these days. I won't be working when you visit Rhode Island,
All right, let's see.
or I'll be in Seattle.
Yeah.
A lot of our friends had California fever and West Coast fever. They went and they explored the West Coast and they came back home. And I was happy. I'm always here to welcome my friends when they come back home. Eric, come back home. All right, sorry. Next card, Boom Squad. So now it's time to move on when Rich stops egging me on. Boom Squad is a League of Evil card. It's a common warrior spell for 1. Reads discover a lackey, mech, or dragon. Does not say discover a lackey, a mech, and a dragon. Okay, it says, or you get 1 card from this. You get 1 card for 1. I think what's going to happen is it's going to pop up 3 cards that says lackey, mech, or dragon, and you pick one, and then you're gonna get another 3 to pick from. I don't really see where this fits right now. It's a fun card. I don't have much to say about it. You
Yeah,
know,
seems very like, okay, I get to get something,
Yeah.
right?
it's a fun card.
Yeah.
It's a fun card. I don't see anything else about it. Moving on to our rares. We have 2 rares. First one is a League of Explorers called Steel Beetle. It's a druid beast minion. It's a 2/3 for 2 that reads Battle Cry. If you're holding a spell that costs 5 or more, gain 5 armor. This is a druid minion, and this is gonna fit in Quest Druid. I'm gonna tell you why.
Tell me why.
The quest is it's a choose one, but the thing is it fits nicely because it's for 5 cost spells.
Mm-hmm.
Is what activates it.
Mm-hmm.
You have 4 spells that are 6 spells that are 5 or more. So you have Starfall, Hidden Oasis, and Nourish that are all being run in Quest Druid. So, wow. If you're holding a spell that costs 5 or more, gain 5 armor, that's pretty good. It only costs 2. It's a 2-drop.
Oh yeah.
So it's a 2/3 for 2 that gives you 5 armor. If you're holding
really good.
a spell that's 5 or more, that's really good.
Yeah.
For 2. That's gonna affect the meta. Okay, I call that. This week is so full of things that could affect the meta. It's gonna be absolutely crazy.
Do you think they were waiting for the last week to give like the best of the group?
Yes.
Does it feel that way?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. And just try to find something that's like well made and go for it,
Mhm.
because it's just okay. Moving on. I'm gonna move on. That's a great card. I'm excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Druid. I have a lot of Druid cards. You can only play what you got.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the great thing about this is right now at the end of the year, the Dragon Rich. Just gonna tell you, there's a lot of options. A lot of options for like all the classes except Priest. Everything's looking good.
Yeah, that's good.
And Mage, Highlander Mage. All right, we'll talk about that soon. Next card is Frenzied Fellwing,
Mm-hmm.
League of Evil.
Mm-hmm.
It is a neutral card, can go in any class. It's a 3/3 demon for 4 that reads costs 1 less for each damage dealt to your opponent this turn. So basically it costs 0 because there's a lot of direct damage area of effect cards right now. For this it's a neutral card, but this is a Zulok card. This is a warlock card. It's gonna fit in great. It's a demon. Like, I don't know why. Everything is everything. You know, we have these classes,
Mm-hmm.
we have rarities,
Mm-hmm.
but it's neutral, but it's made for warlock.
Mm-hmm.
It's a demon, for Christ's sake.
It doesn't have a class, but it's obviously a class.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So what? Let me try to see if I can. What are people saying about this card? Yeah, new warlock.
Wake up, Blizzard.
Frenzied Fellwing. Yeah, I'm just gonna read some comments here from players. Your Private Nightmare says, yes, because Face Hunter needed so much more support.
I love that people just complain all the time.
And this player's like quote for their, like they have a little bio quote.
Uh-huh.
I tried having fun once. It was awful. Then Double Summon says, not a Face Hunter card, it belongs to Zoo Warlock, Pirate Warrior, or Paladin. Yeah, this is very tokeny stuff. Face Hunter doesn't care enough for the board. Yeah, okay. The new Happy Ghoul for Zulok. Happy Ghoul was a 3/3 for 3, cost 0 if your hero was healed this turn. Yeah, so like a free 3-drop. Absolutely. That seems very powerful mana cheat for aggro. Yeah, this seems like a great card. And it's going to be in token decks, and it's definitely going to be in Zulok. And I don't know if it's better than Steel Beetle. I don't think so. But it's a great card that's going to be around for a long time. It's not rotating out. None of these cards are rotating out. This is like its own mini expansion. It really is. Galakon's Awakening is a mini expansion that's coming out gradually week by week, and it's awesome. I'm really enjoying it. Steel Beetle.
That's cool.
We already talked about Steel Beetle and talked about Crush. I'm just Xing out some things. All right. Moving on to our epics. 4 cards left. We're halfway through. Our epic for League of Explorers is Escaped Mana Saber. Escaped Mana Saber is a neutral beast. It's a 3/5 beast for 4 epic minion that reads, whenever this attacks, gain 1 mana crystal this turn only.
I mean, the three.
Rich, if you played this, you'd be like, oh yeah. This is gonna be a game changer. I look at this card and I'm like, it's a beast. So beasts go good in hunter decks, and there's hunter synergy with beast. This is it. Balls Deeper says this is bonkers. Okay? That's Balls Deeper's take on it.
Thanks, Balls Deeper.
Arn Grim Undying says, I'm not sure about this one. Seems pretty slow for what will surely be a must-remove minion. You probably will only get 1 turn of an extra mana before it gets taken out.
Well, I mean, yeah, you only get 1 mana crystal that turn. It's not like it makes one every turn.
Whenever this attacks, gain 1 mana crystal. Every time it attacks, it gets 1. But what they're saying is, so when you play it, it's in stealth. So it's you can't be targeted by spells unless it's an area of effect. And then once you attack, it loses stealth. So that first time it attacks, you get the extra mana crystal. So as soon as now it's vulnerable, it probably won't live longer than a turn.
Whenever this attacks, gain 1 mana crystal this turn only.
So they're saying...
Why would it say this turn only if you get it every turn when it attacks?
This turn only. Let me look at it one more time.
Whenever this attacks, comma, gain 1 mana crystal this turn only.
Whenever this attacks.
Yeah, I mean, like, the wording is super weird. If you get it every turn, why would it say this turn only if you do get it every turn? Like,
because it doesn't give you something that carries. Oh, because mana. That's the way mana crystals are. Okay, so mana crystals, certain things give you, like the coin will give you a mana crystal that's full and ready to use. It disappears the next turn. But then there are the ramp cards that add an extra mana crystal that lives there
so you
forever.
can only use a mana crystal. You can only use that.
So let's say you had eight mana crystals. You play this. It attacks. It doesn't have rush or charge.
Right. So you have to wait a turn.
You wait a turn. It attacks. Let's say you had 7 mana.
Yep.
You play it.
Yep.
The next turn you have 8 mana.
Yep.
It attacks.
Now you have 9.
Now you have 9. And the next turn, you're gonna have 9.
Right.
Not 10.
Right.
That's what it means.
Okay. So you get an extra this turn. So, all right.
Right.
Okay.
But what people are saying is it's gonna equal. It's like a combo piece. It's like something that allows you to trigger a 1-turn kill, which I have no idea. what that would be. This looks like a pretty interesting card. It says Global Moderator, Cinti. I'm fairly confident this will see play, and also we will get some crazy combos with it. 7 copies on the board, Wind Fury on all of them. What? Is he joking? Or is she joking? I don't know. How do you get Wind Fury on everything? Please tell me.
Hey, balls deeper if you have an answer. Let us know.
And it's neutral. I want to know what the class is going to make the most of this. Maybe Shaman with Wind Fury. Okay. Wind Fury. Everyone, I don't get it. Interesting concept. Alright, and just to wrap up this card, Emptiness says, interesting concept, and the 5 health means you are definitely going to at least once gain an extra mana crystal, and that can be huge. Even on later stages of the game, it'll definitely be experimented.
Alright, a 4 mana 5 health stealth minion in Divine Spirit deck, for example. Turn 4 mana saver, turn 5 power sword, shield plus 2nd PWS. Power word.
Okay.
Power word shield
Yeah.
plus 2nd power word shield plus divine spirit plus 2nd divine spirit plus topsy. Hopefully.
Oh, combo priest. A combo priest card.
That's what Lambda says.
Good luck. I'll be fucking playing. Shit, I'll be playing Bomb Warrior.
Halftime scavenger. I love reading things I have no idea what they mean.
Well, I'm gonna close I'm gonna turn the page. I'm not closing the book on it.
Yeah.
Turn the page,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say good luck with Escape Mana Saber. It's not my style. It sounds like it's gonna take a long time to pull off any combo with that card. Definitely not excited about it, but
Yeah.
I hope some.
You're gonna get beat by it, and you're gonna be like, "Remember what I said about Mana Saber?" I'll take it all back.
Yeah, and then I'll be late to the party with the fucking combo deck, trying to like learn how to do the combo. Nope, not doing it.
Nope.
I'm about to tell you the MVP of week 4.
Please tell me.
Chaos Gazer.
Your artwork on there is a beholder.
Oh yeah. Holy crap. This is a League of Evil Warlock minion. It's a demon. It's a 4/3 for 3 epic demon that reads Battlecry. Corrupt a playable card in your opponent's hand. They have 1 turn to play it. Oh my god, Rich! This is the creature from that movie from Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah.
With
yeah,
the two.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
Yep.
The the thing that it was like a swan, the eye, like they could see through the eye.
Yep.
And it was nasty. That's what it
That's
is.
what it is. Yep. Tentacles for.
Except way fucking scarier.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw that thing in real life, forget it. I would
Would you run?
shit my pants like I was eating my mom's chili. Okay.
So what does corrupt mean? Explain this to me.
Corrupt.
Corrupt a card in your.
We're talking hand disruption,
Mm-hmm.
which is fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that's happened very often in Hearthstone. Corrupt means it's gonna die. I play it on my turn, and then the next time it's my turn, it dies.
Okay. It just goes away.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Corrupt a playable card in your opponent's hand. They have 1 turn to play it, which makes sense. So yep, I don't know. We don't know how this is going to look yet.
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to look like? And is it going to be like a Discover where I see all the cards in your hand and corrupt a playable card in your opponent's hand? It doesn't say random.
Right. You get to choose.
My wish for this is that 5 card or however many cards are in your hand pop up, just the backs of them, and they represent where they are in your hand, because that's something that doesn't change. I don't know if Magic players realize this, In Hearthstone, you cannot shuffle the cards in
they're
your
in
hand.
order? Okay.
They're in order as they come into your hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're in
I
order,
didn't know that.
and there are things that affect the leftmost card in your hand or the rightmost.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a set thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if it comes out like a set thing, and I really get to pick it. So if we were right now playing each other,
Yeah.
and I really get to pick a card, and it's really that card, and then boom, it just gets corrupted. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if it's like one of your key cards, like a Galacrond or like a Reno or
Yeah, and then it goes away.
one of your Highlander cards, like your
And then you're like,
Dragon Queen Alistraza. Look at me fucking.
look at you thinking.
Look at me thinking I know the names of cards and stuff. This is like a real show.
It's like that kid when I used that.
Andrew, are you listening? Are you proud of me? Love you, buddy. This is for you, man. I'm excited. Hand disruption.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible art. This art, I wish all the cards looked at this cool. Some of these cards are so awful. Like you can't even see you can't even make out what it is. Sometimes they really, really drop the ball on the art. But this card has everything you could want in a card. Holy crap. And it's a demon. It's going in Warlock decks. It's a Warlock card, so it's definitely going in Warlock decks. What are people saying about it? Just say real quick a
What's
couple
Balls
things.
Deeper saying?
What's the first Balls Deeper? Oh my god, I wish I could just click on, I gotta click on Balls Deeper and just read all of Balls Deeper. Oh, all of Balls Deeper's comments. I already closed out that screen. Absolutely broken against any kind of slower deck.
I'm reading that
James
same.
Feedback.
I'm reading that same exact. That's really weird. I was reading what you just were reading out loud and silently.
Oh my god.
That was weird. My brain just had like a skip.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay, keep going.
Imagine hitting a Zephyrs or Reno or even a Gul'dan. Gul'dan is in Wild. That was Q block. That was in the Q block days where that deck was awesome. Now I had it. I had it together. I had dusted everything just so I could make that deck.
Mm-hmm.
I do still sometimes do that, but not as much as I used to. I won't dust everything. I'll dust something. Obviously worse against aggro, but there's still an off chance to hit a Leroy or Bloodlust with this. This is amazing. People, I'm already afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna change the game. I mean, you gotta play 2 of these and you gotta mess with your opponent as much as you can. Oh my god. I wonder if you can make copies of it. That's what my mind's going to, because it's just a minion. What if you can make a copy of it and have a lot of them and just keep screwing with your opponent? That'd be the best. Oh my god, I'm excited.
I love how one person above will be like, "This is so playable," blah, 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 and then the dude right below is like, "Yeah, cool, but it's not gonna see any play." Like,
Is that what they said?
Yeah, it's like,
Really?
yeah. Yeah, like halfway down the page, somebody says, "Cool concept, but won't see play. Too situational if the opponent have playable cards, they will probably play it anyway. Too techie, mostly versus control, or make aggro overextend. But you just played a 4/3 and a control warlock. That's kind of too slow in reactive play." I mean, okay.
Are you kidding me? What?
It's funny. It's just funny it's just funny seeing people's perspective. Like one person thinks one way about certain
Listen,
decks.
let me say this.
One person thinks
Okay,
the opposite.
just go ahead, you say it. Go ahead. All right, I got something to say to that person.
Go ahead.
We don't know how this card's gonna work yet. Hold it. Hold the phone. We got a vacuum cleaner outside. What if we get information about your opponent's hand?
Yeah.
And then get to pick what card gets, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say random.
No.
We don't know if it's gonna be
No,
random.
you get to pick it.
It doesn't say that either.
What does it say? It
It
says
doesn't say
corrupt a playable card in your opponent's hand. They have one turn. So what do you? Is it? So if
We don't know
if
yet.
it's not random and it's not, you get to pick. What is it?
Then maybe it's you pick, but you pick randomly. It's not random, but like I'm saying, you are picking a card
You're blind picking,
because okay,
but that's random.
no, but it's
Because
not
there's no
random.
information.
There is information. There is information. Yeah, because of the way the hand is,
Uh-huh.
you can see when you're using the deck tracker you can see it anyway, but especially when using the deck tracker, what turn the card was put into the hand.
Right.
And you can tell by, you can decipher how, when they're playing what, how much that card is worth.
Right.
And you can see if it's a copy or it's a bonus thing that got put in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you can keep track of where things are in someone's hand.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what it is. So that's random, but not 100% random. I have some information about what's in your hand, and I can make an educated guess that this is the card I want to pick that's going to get whatever.
But when it says playable card, somebody was saying like it needs to be a playable card.
You actually need to.
So you need the mana that it costs to play.
Playable card.
That's what it says. Yeah. Corrupt a playable card in your opponent's hand.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
A playable card? What wouldn't be playable?
Yeah. Like something that you don't have enough mana for yet. Like if you have a 6-cost thing and it's turn 5.
So that makes it even more powerful.
Yeah.
If it's going to highlight only the playable cards, well, that's going to definitely slow down your opponent.
Yeah.
This is a good card. This is going to see play, absolutely, and guarantee
I
that.
like it. I like it.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Yes, me too. Now, if that wasn't exciting enough, we're moving on to the legendaries. And we're going to start with the League of Evil legendary, which is Grand Lackey Urk. This is a neutral. This is a neutral minion. It's a legendary. It's a 2/3 for 4. After you play a lackey, add a lackey to your hand. So this is a combo-y card. You have to play it, then play a lackey to get another lackey. It's 4.
So it's a lackey summoner. He's like the Lord of the Lackeys. He's the Grand Lackey.
He's the Lord of the Lackeys. He's the Grand Lackey.
After you play a lackey,
By turn 4, you will have lackeys in your hand already.
and that's repeatable. So like once that's in play, like every time you play a lackey, you can grab a lackey.
Right, and they all cost 1. So if you make a bunch of lackeys, have them in your hand, by turn 4, you could definitely have 3.
That's cool.
I mean,
It's just
you don't have to play it on turn 4
Like
at all.
guarantees that you always have dudes, right?
Yeah, it's a lackey maker.
Yeah.
It's a wacky lackey.
Wacky.
Warlock time. I'm just reading random comments. Random guy says makes lackeys do something you have to seriously consider. I mean, they are super valuable, and they do keep the pressure on. Seems okay. It's about speed. Lackeys and tokens are about speed. It's about setting up your board and hitting face before your opponent has an answer. Like, I was playing in Big and Druid, and I was getting run over because I just couldn't. Even I had what's like the nuts.
Yeah.
2 embiggens and a side quest in hand.
Yeah.
Like by turn 2, and still, if you just get to that one point, it's like turn 5 or 6. But if you're playing against something tokeny, they can just run you over.
Yeah.
So it's not to be dismissed. Yeah, it's not to be dismissed, but it doesn't seem OP.
Yeah. This seems kind of
It seems good.
middle of the road good, right?
Yeah, it seems good. Damn, looks like I should have kept my tech in. Help you a lot more value, even a single lackey. So, let's see. Can you Google? I'll Google it. Jamie, Google Tekken. Tekahn. Tekhan Hearthstone. I don't recognize that. That's why I just want to look it up real quick. Oh yeah, that was that legendary that I dusted. That's the 4/4 for 5 legendary Warlock minion battle cry for the rest of the game. Lackeys are 4/4. So that's building on that.
Yep.
That's cool. I like it. I like it. Yeah, so we're gonna turn the page on that, but we're not closing the book on that. That's pretty cool. But not something that has my mouth. No, I'm not drooling over it, but
And we know that you do drool over cards.
I do. It gets the juices.
It does get the
Gets
juices.
the juices flowing. What is this gland right here?
Salivary gland?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Both of them. Boom, they get activated. And my eyes tear up.
You just get real moist.
I get moist.
Ugh.
Okay, wrapping it up.
Wrapping it up.
The Amazing Reno is the League of Explorers. He's like the lead guy. For Mage is a 10 cost hero card. Reads battle cry, make all minions disappear. Poof. And then your hero power becomes cast of. Oh my god, I know it's cast a random spell for 0. It just casts a spell. Let me just look that up real quick. I'm pretty sure. I'm so sorry, this is so unprofessional. Amazing Reno hero power. Yeah, draw a random spell from. No, that's not right. Hero power at the start of your turn, cast a random spell. Yeah, and that's just like an emblem. So at the start of your turn, cast a random spell. I assume target's chosen randomly, just like Puzzle Box, except it's every turn one spell. This is a Highlander Mage card for sure.
That's wild.
It's awesome. It sounds really fun. What are people saying about it?
What's Balls Deeper got?
Balls Deeper will be back on the show next week for episode 34. We're gonna search Balls Deeper's comments.
Comments, yeah. The Balls Deeper episode.
Anyone know if this means it affects only minions in play or the board on the board? Unless it specifies otherwise, yeah. Oh, Balls Deeper says maybe poof is a new keyword.
Oh, there it is.
LOL. Maybe poof is a new keyword. Yeah, maybe poop is a new keyword. Let's see what the hero power is in order to rate this. I mean, this is old. No one's talking about it. I guess they talked about it when they first got revealed.
Yeah, it looks like it's all the reveal.
It's going to be a really fun card. Everyone's going to want to play it. I'm definitely going to play it. Can I just say incredible value for $20? The Galakrond's Awakening whole thing. It's been quite a ride. It's been a lot of fun. Every week.
It seems like you get a lot of value out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of cards you get and some really cool cards, and it's awesome. It's been great. I'm looking forward to playing Reno and definitely going to try it out. And that's it. Closing the chapter here on Galakrond's Awakening Week 4.
Nice.
It's fantastic. Gave me very easy outline for show content. So thank you, Hearthstone. Thank you, Blizzard.
Wake up, Blizzard.
Wake up, Blizzard. Get it together. What a game. What a life.
I
What a
played Hearthstone.
show. You
I
played?
played Hearthstone.
What did
I
you
told
think?
you. I played it.
What did you play?
So my sister got me a Kindle or a Fire tablet, one of those Amazon tablets
Okay.
for Christmas. Fire 7 or something, little guys.
Okay.
And I was laying in bed. I was like watching something on YouTube, and then I was like, I didn't really mess with it too much. And then I was like,
Instantly I'm cold when my segment ends.
and I was sitting there and I was like, let me see like what games I could put it, because I was looking for other things than just like watching stuff, like maybe like a game. And I was in the game section. Sure enough, Hearthstone was in there. And I was like, I can play Hearthstone on this thing. You can't really play Hearthstone on it because it's not that powerful, but I downloaded it anyway.
Okay.
And it was like, your device might not be powerful enough to play this game. I was like, I don't care. So I started playing it.
If you want, you can have my.
And I played, but I didn't like make an account or anything. I just played.
Oh, okay.
You know, like I didn't sign up for anything. I didn't like make an account.
You were like playing through the
I
tutorial.
just did the tutorial. Yeah, but I mean, I played Hearthstone,
That's
and then I was
awesome.
like, this is boring. Just kidding. I didn't say that. I just went to bed. But yeah,
I'd love to give you the credentials to my
That'd be cool.
my second account,
that'd be cool.
and then you can
I can experiment.
open all the packs in there. Because I just whenever there's free packs
Mm-hmm.
for a new thing, I have a lot of them in there now.
Cool. Yeah, no,
There's
it
20
was like
packs to open.
it gave me more of like a visual reference of like how things work because I had to do them rather than just listen to you.
I have 2 wild decks in there that you can play.
Yeah,
Yeah, really good ones.
I learn better like when I'm just playing it rather than like trying to figure it out on paper. Like I was at the draft on Thursday. I went to a draft, and my friend Kavi brought this game that was made. I think he said it was made by people who make Magic, but it was like an older game.
Really?
And it was this. So it was like you have like you start with like a hero. Let's call it a hero, right? And you both have decks. It's like a Magic deck.
Yeah.
And they have themes to them. Like his was like a green deck, but like not green in the Magic sense, but like his was green and mine was blue and red. And like he said, mine was more control and his was more creature based. Can't remember the name of it, and I wish I could. But anyway, you start with it. Like you have a card, and like it's your guy, and you put it out.
I played this game.
You draw like 5 cards, and for each turn, you put like a card under your guy. And on your guy has like things that happen for whatever level you are. So like level 10 is like your first level, and then it has like a level 60 thing. And for every card that's under your dude, for every turn you're leveling up. So every turn you get to do that level 10 thing, because you're level 10 to begin with. And then every card that you take out, when you level up, you get to do the things on those cards for every level you are. So if there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, on turn 5, you get to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they're like drawing cards and like putting creatures into play and all that sort of stuff. And then you have like spells and like damage, and like then you have a creature that attacks and does, and it was like, and you're gaining life, and then you got, it was very much like Hearthstone, I think, because it was like you're attacking the main person, thing.
Yeah.
But then there's creatures that can defend, you know, like that kind of concept. And it was like cute too. It was like the artwork and stuff was more like cartoony, you know.
I'm not sure if I played this or not. There was a game store in Airport Plaza that existed for a while, and they only played this one collectible card game, and then they wouldn't have Magic. It was like they excluded Magic.
Wow.
And I played it for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the game.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. The cards were white, and then the backs were like white with the name on it.
Are you sure it was made by Wizards?
It was made by, he mentioned something right in the beginning, like we were in between rounds. He's like, hey, you want to play this game? I was like, all right, sure. And he taught me how to play real quickly, but he said when he showed it to me, he's like, it was made by the people who make Magic. I think that's what he said, but I could be wrong. But anyway, Kavi, thanks for helping me.
That's cool.
Like learn a new game.
Yeah,
it's
thanks,
cool.
Kavi.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I want to play Flux. I want to get some Flux cards. I actually want to get Flux before I go on my my trip, because I want to play with Brian.
Yeah.
And see if he likes
They
it.
have one of the versions over at Untapped.
I saw like a Star Trek version that I want. There's a lot of different
May
ones.
the force be with you. We saw we went out before, and we're on the road, and the car in front of us said Trekkie on the license plate, and she goes, "May the force be with you." She
It's not the same shit to me.
She doesn't
I'm
know.
not into Star Trek or Star Wars,
She
but
like-
I can do the damn thing.
She didn't know. She was like,
Peace and tranquility. Live long and prosper.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Is there anyone else out there who this happened?
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a scientist.
We're giving it as much as we got, Captain. We got the dilithium crystals around them.
I'll say this: I don't like old Star Trek. Not a fan. Like not at all a fan. I Bye. Not a Star Trek fan, but I'm a fan of the new movies, like the recent J.J.
The
Abrams
reboots?
ones.
Oh my
Those
God.
were sick. Like
Those were
I
awesome.
gave those a shot, and those were really good. So
Absolutely. I grew up watching the original Star Trek and Happy Days and all like the shows on Nickelodeon and Star Trek, and I thought they were new. I didn't understand.
really?
Yeah, I didn't know they were all repeats.
yeah,
So I grew up with it thinking
like
this
what's
is
happening right
this
now.
is all
It just looked old.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to meet Shatner. If he goes to Comic-Con next year, I want to meet him. He was there maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I've never been around Comic-Con. Have you?
Every
Hey.
time it happens, I have to work. It happens across the street from my work, and I always end up working because it's super busy.
Yeah.
It just happened like in November, and I wanted to go because like half the staff of the office, half
Oh my
of the
gosh.
actors from the office were there, and I got.
You can see them. You can walk through
Mhm.
like the celebrity.
You can like
dining
look.
or
You can like
whatever.
look at them, but you can't like look too long, or they'll charge you for it.
Like a
Right.
people do.
Yeah, the people do.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess Bam Margera was there. I follow his Instagram.
Is he all right? He's not all right.
He
is
has challenges. Yeah.
His cameo's like $40.
Is it?
Yeah.
He has his substance abuse things,
Yeah.
and then he recovers. He's up and down,
Yeah.
and he helps his friends recover. I like him. I like Bam Margera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool little story about him. Actually, when I worked in Jamaica Plain, I worked with a few people who were professional skateboarders. They have like their little company and their little like group of people. They're called Fancy Lab. That's what this sweatshirt is right over here.
Okay.
They make skateboards, and Nick, the big Nick, was one of my employees there. And he's like sort of the head honcho there. And every summer they go on tour. They get the van and the group of them, they go and they skate places and they make videos. Very CKY-esque also. Like one of his biggest influences was the CKY videos, because if you look at the Fancy Lad videos, you can tell. Right? They're like funny and they're like just zany and like shot with like old VHS stuff. Anyway, they went on tour the last summer that I was working there, and they were in Pennsylvania. They needed a place to stay, and they had a dude who called Bam and asked if they could stay at the castle.
Oh,
And
wow.
sure enough, they let him stay. He was like, "Oh yeah, fine, whatever." And they let him stay at the castle. You know, that's what he does with that house now. I think he actually sold that house since then, if I was like reading correctly. But they let him stay there, and they had pictures and stuff, and they were like in the big like chair with the him logo behind it, and
Wow.
like the big basement hangout area, and they got to stay at
That's
Bam's
so
house.
cool.
So I mean, that's the kind of thing that Bam is good for. Like he still respects the skate community and stuff, and
Yeah.
just if he can help them.
Totally. And
go
he's
out.
still a good skater. Still, I mean, he's our age, right?
I think it's a little bit younger, but yeah, he's getting up there.
He's still a great skater. He
Yeah.
posts videos, and he's
Is
got
he
a
get-
big heart.
Is he
Big
getting back? Because I know I watched a documentary where he was out of skating for so long.
kick
and
you
then
in the balls.
He had to
For
relearn.
$50. But he'll kick you in the balls. But you know, he's a good guy.
Yeah, that's cool. Good guy. If nobody has ever watched the CKY videos, please watch the CKY videos. They're the funniest things ever.
I have to get caught up on him. No, I haven't. I mean, I watch all the not Turkey Boys. I can't think of Jackass. All the
I mean,
Jackass stuff. Yeah.
that's why Jackass exists, is the CKY videos. It's because the chain of events, like they
I've
were
seen
making
some
those.
clips like Bam like with all his old computers like doing all the
Yeah,
editing
yeah,
and like
yeah.
they did it all themselves.
Yeah.
Very DIY.
Yeah, very cool. It's a very cool process, and like the fame and fortune that came from these stupid videos is just like the right place at the right time, I think.
You know.
But CKY videos, those will be the show notes, I'm sure.
Oh hell yeah!
Um,
Writing that down right now.
do you want me to talk about Magic?
Yeah. Yes,
yes,
please do.
All right.
I got your deck
Deck lists are up. Okay, so this week I'm just going to talk about a few of the decks that I tried playing, that I saw some people playing that I respect and admire their dedication to playing the game, and they're good players. So I was like, let me take the decks that they're playing, and try to play them. Like I watched it, like watch either a streamer or like a YouTube video or whatever. Essentially, like a tutorial on how to play the deck because it's in action. So some decks I don't like playing, like I don't know, it's like creature-based decks, like just that are plain and simple, like those are boring to me because I want more interaction. I want there to be a little bit more like thinking involved. So the first deck that I grasped onto, which we actually talked about this a couple weeks ago. If you scroll down, it's called Reclaim. It's the blue, red, green.
There it is.
So this deck we talked about maybe last week. I think it was last week. It went under some changes since last week. A few things got taken out, a few things got put in, and now it's a more streamlined version of this deck.
Okay.
So it revolves around Wilderness Reclamation, which is the enchantment that untaps all your land during your end step, and revolves around Expansion Explosion, which is the split card that the explosion part, you deal X damage and draw X cards for 2 blue and 2 red and X. So you basically, the ideal situation is during your end step to have a bunch of land out, tap your land for mana, let Wilderness Reclamation's trigger happen, and then retap all your lands, and then add a whole bunch of mana to your mana pool, and then smack your opponent in the face and draw a bunch of cards. So it had a couple things in it that aren't in there. It had Thirst for Meaning in it before, which was the instant that drew you 3 cards, and then you have to discard 2 unless you discard an enchantment card. And it also had Wolf Willow Haven, I think it was called. It was a 2 casting cost green enchantment that went on in one of your lands, and then whenever you tapped the land, it added an extra green, so it was like a ramp spell, but it was an enchantment that you could toss to Thirst for Meaning. So it was like this little combo of like drawing cards and cycling cards or whatever. So the people that were playing the deck revised it and got rid of those 4 cards, or 8 cards, I guess. And then they put more card draw in the way of Gadwick the Wizened. So Gadwick is a 3 blue and X, and the X, when it comes to play, you draw X cards, and it's a 3/3 creature. So you get to draw a bunch of cards because you're ramping with this deck. You have Growth Spirals and Euro, the Titan of Nature's Wrath, the guy who comes into play. You can put a land into play, draw a card, and gain 3 life, and do a whole bunch of stuff. So they put Gadwick in there, and Gadwick taps non-land permanents when you play a blue spell also, so it gives you control over your opponent's turn. So like if Gadwick's in play, it's your opponent's turn, and you play like a Growth Spiral during their turn. Gadwick triggers, and then you can tap a non-land permanent of your opponent. So like before their attack step, if you wanted to play Growth Spiral, you can tap their big attacker, and then they can't attack. And then it also added
pacifism
for that one turn. And then it's got 4 Brazen Borrowers. Brazen Borrower is the adventure creature. It's a 3/1 flyer flash, but has the petty theft instant on it, which returns a non-land permanent to the opponent's hand. So that's like again, like if they have a big attacker, you just return it to their hand. It's a tempo thing, slow them down and stuff.
Yeah.
So people are saying this is the deck because it is pretty hard to beat. Like if you can't answer the Wilderness Reclamation, like if you can't answer that enchantment, and you have like 10 lands in play, or even like if you have 6 lands in play and your opponent can't answer that enchantment, you're pretty far ahead because you can explosion for, you have 6 lands in play, you do 6, and then 6, so 12 minus 4 is 8. I mean, that's 8 points of damage for your first explosion. And then you have a Gadwick, and then you have Euros that are 6/6 creatures that attack, and then you have the Brazen Borrowers attack. So it became more of an aggressive deck in multiple ways. It took a lot of that card draw and like less of a combo deck than just relying on the enchantment and the expansion explosion. Excuse me. And now it has more ways to win, which is cool. And I was playing it, but like I got to like this weird point where I was playing and like it was not happening. I got like to a point where I had like 13, 14 lands out, couldn't find a Wilderness Reclamation, and if you can't like keep the board clear, it's one of its weaknesses is like fast aggressive decks.
Yeah.
So it runs Storm's Wrath in the main deck, which is the 4 casting cost red spell that does 4 damage to each creature and planeswalker.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah.
So this is what you're gonna try to use the expansion explosion
Nope, you're using.
to copy it.
You actually can. You can expansion the Storm's Wrath if you need to. Like if there's big creatures on board and you have a Storm's Wrath and an expansion in your hand, you can make that happen twice and do 8 to everything. But most of the time, 4 is enough. Like if
Okay.
you just cast it for 1. What your goal is to use the explosion side with the Wilderness Reclamation. You just add a whole bunch of mana to your mana pool and then just do that damage and draw that many cards. It's all about card advantage and mana advantage. So I just found the deck is just kind of be like drawing a bunch of cards, but if you can't generate the extra mana with the Wilderness Reclamation and find your expansion explosion at the right time, you kind of get run over. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to like fix that. You know, like I had like a little bit more ramp spells, I had more card draw spells, so I went to this version, and we'll post in the show notes. Thassa's Intervention is really cool. It counters spells and makes your opponent like shut down your opponent pretty easily because it counters spells for an extra 2 mana per 1 that you put into it. So you usually have more mana than your opponent, so you can counter stuff. It's a fun deck to play, and when you have that like nut hand, you know, you're like turn 3 this, turn 4 this, turn 5 that, and then you just kind of keep going.
Yeah.
It's great. But when you like ramp all your stuff out, but you don't have like anything to do with all that mana, it just fizzles, and then your opponent can just attack 3 times with whatever they have, and then that's that. So
Yeah.
give that deck a shot. We'll put it in the show notes. It does have a best of 3 setup. If playing it in best of 3 is better than playing it in best of 1 because you have a really good sideboard advantage. The sideboard has Ether Gusts to get rid of green stuff, green and red things. Chandra's Pyro Helix is a little bit of a techie sideboard card. That's the instant that deals 2 damage divided as you choose amongst 2 targets. That's really for mono red, because a lot of the mono red creatures have a 1 toughness. So for 2 mana, you can divide 2 points of damage amongst creatures. So you can kill 2 things for 2 mana. So that's why that's in there. Scorching Dragonfire is again for either against red or green because it kills things and it gets exiled. It's good against black too because of the Witch's Oven cat thing. So if there's a cat in play but no oven, you can Scorching Dragonfire it and then it'll be exiled, so it won't be in the graveyard, so it can't come back ever. Mystical Dispute just against other blue decks, and then Shifting Ceratops again against blue decks, so they can't be countered, and it's got protection from blue.
So
So
what does the explosion side read? Because I can't see it when I click on the card.
oh yeah, Explosion says the casting cost is X and 2 blue and 2 red, so it's 4 and then X, and then it says Explosion deals X damage to any target, and then period. Target player draws X cards. So
So that's what in the mana twice,
yeah,
and then boom, right to the face.
exactly. Yeah. So boom to your face, and then boom to my hand full of cards. Like
Oh.
you take the damage, and then I target. So there's 2 targets on that card.
Yeah.
So I target you for the damage, and I target me for the cards. So you take 10 damage, I draw 10 cards. That's why it's good.
But you gotta have enough cards in your deck.
Yes. Or you can target your opponent with it. Like if you don't have enough cards.
But you control how many cards.
Yeah. But if you don't have enough cards, like if there's some reason your opponent like is at 40,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
then you can generate 40 points of damage somehow, because you can with this deck if you have multiple Wilderness Reclamations. You can have your opponent draw 40 cards instead, and then they would lose.
That seems so powerful.
Yeah, it is. I mean, once it's there, it's there. Like once you can get it going. I really like this deck. I think it's really strong, but again, like if you ramp a whole bunch of stuff and then don't have like the stuff, there's no like, you can't search your library and find the combo.
Mhm.
You have to draw it. So you're doing a lot of like draw stuff in the beginning, and if you don't get to it, it kind of sputters out.
Oh,
So
I hate waiting
Yeah.
for the combo.
yeah, so that's it's really kind of reliant on the combo, but it has been redesigned to like be a little bit more aggressive on the creature side. So that's one deck I've been playing. Try that out; it's a lot of fun. Next one I was playing a little bit.
What one were you playing where your opponent draws a card and takes 3 damage?
Oh, that was just a fun. So this is not a competitive deck, but we can check it out anyway. Oh, you can't see it. Wait, let me adjust it.
That's the meta breaker right there.
So this one is a lot of fun. Let me see if I can. You might have to refresh your page because I had it blocked for public view.
Okay. Refreshing.
It's called Emergency Underworld. It's probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down.
Emergency Underworld. No, not quite there yet. Sometimes it's when you hit the deck link, nothing happens. There we go. There it is. Got it.
All right, we can go over this one. So this is a fun deck. So I was playing this while we were preparing today. So I will go over it because it is a lot of fun. It's like one of those play it in a standard event. Don't play it on the ladder because it'll get absolutely destroyed on the ladder because tier 1 decks will just run over it. It's a combo deck. So it revolves around the enchantment Underworld Dreams, which is an enchantment from Theros, Beyond Death. And it costs 3 black, and it says whenever your opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. Okay?
Okay.
Alright, so here's I'll just set up the combo for you. So there's a bunch of like control in it. There's like 7 board wipes in it, so clearing creature because you need time. Like you need a lot of time to set it up, so there's a bunch of board wipes and stuff. Then you have Teferis in there to like prevent your opponent for like if your opponent plays a whatever, you can bounce it back to your hand, or if you're playing against control and you can resolve with Teferi, they can't counter anything, and then it has some card draw. The combo is to get out a turn, hopefully get out a turn 4 Smothering Tithe. All right, Smothering Tithe is a white enchantment, costs 3 and 1 white, and it says whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2 colorless mana. If the player doesn't, you create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap this, sacrifice this artifact, you add 1 mana of any color. So if your opponent decides during their turn, when they draw a card, they get a prompt that says, do you want to pay 2 to prevent me from getting a token? And if they don't pay 2, you get an extra token that you can tap for any color mana.
So a treasure token.
A treasure token
is a card that you can tap for any color mana.
Mm-hmm. It's a little token, exactly.
Does it disappear at the end of the turn?
Nope, you get it. It's there
right.
Forever. Okay, so if your opponent decides, whatever, I'll give you you can have it. I want to play something this turn. All right, cool. That means I got 1 extra land next turn. I got 1 extra mana. So play that on turn 4, whatever, right?
Smothering Tithe.
If you can play multiples, like if you play 1 on turn 4 and then another on turn 5. Even better because then they double the amount of triggers, so then they would have to pay 4 mana to prevent you.
God.
So okay, but usually your opponent, like when you play this deck, usually your opponent's like, no, I'm not.
Doesn't
you can
get on
have
your
it.
radar.
Like it's like okay, that's fine.
Oh yeah,
Alright, that's
have
fine.
fun with that.
Okay, so that's step 1. Have that out.
Okay.
Step 2 would be have Underworld Dreams in play. Okay, so it says whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. Okay, all right. So I got so you draw on a card, I take a damage, or whatever.
We're doing a lot of enchantments. This
it's
guy's playing a lot of
it's all
enchantments.
enchantment. Okay, I'll take a damage every time I draw a card. I don't need to pay the 2. You can have those treasure tokens. That's fine.
Yeah, because I'm getting there.
I'm gonna play a creature, and then he's board wiping, but that's fine. I'll get there. All right, and then the combo is, and the password is emergency powers all the way at the bottom.
Oh boy.
So 5 colorless, a white and a blue. And now to remind you that you probably have an extra like 3 or 4 treasure tokens at this point that you can generate 4 extra mana. So you'll have the mana. Okay,
it is the most expensive card in the deck.
It is the most expensive. It costs 7, and it reads. It's an instant, but you're always going to play this during your turn. unless for whatever reason there's like you're playing and you need to draw a card or whatever. But this is the way the combo works. If you have a Smothering Tithe out and you have Underworld Dreams out, hopefully you have multiples out, but when you play Emergency Powers, it says each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, then draws 7 cards.
Oh boy.
Exile Emergency
They're not going
Powers.
to be able to. They're not going to be able to pay
Exactly.
all the tax.
And then, addendum, it's if you play it during your main phase. If you cast a spell during your main phase, you may put a permanent card with converted mana cost 7 or less from your hand into the battlefield for free. So, you would shuffle your hand and library into each other. You're going to draw 7 cards. Then, if you had Smothering Tithe and Underworld Dreams out, they're all going to trigger 7 times. So your opponent will get a prompt for every single card for every Smothering Tithe. So they would have to pay 2, and if they don't, you're going to get that many treasure tokens.
Okay.
So let's say they can't pay. Let's just make it easy. They can't pay anything. They're tapped out. You'll get 7 treasure tokens. They'll take 7 damage from the Underworld Dreams because they drew 7 cards. So Underworld Dreams deals 7 to them.
Yeah.
You have 7 extra mana now, right?
Yeah.
Then you can put a permanent that costs 7 or less onto the battlefield. That's everything in your deck. You can put another Smothering Tithe out. You can put another Underworld Dreams out. You can put another Teferi out. You can put whatever. Those are the permanents that are in your deck. Then hopefully you have drawn another Emergency Powers with the reshuffle, and then with the 7 treasure tokens that you have out, you can cast them one again, shuffle everything together. And if you put another Smothering Tithe out, then you'll get 14 treasure tokens. Your opponent will take 7 more damage, and then you just kind of go through that.
Oh my god.
It's so much fun. Like when you get it going, like you missed it because you were over getting a soda or something. I wanted to show it to you, but
wow.
yeah. So that's a lot of fun.
Did you think of that combo?
No, that's an old like. That's just a modern version.
I wouldn't
of
be
like an old
surprised if
goal.
I came up with that.
I was playing this.
That's tricky.
I was playing this combo back before we had the set rotation with what was it? What was the dude? There was a Planeswalker. Obnixilis is a Planeswalker that has that same clause. Whenever your opponent draws a card, deal 1 damage to them. But Underworld Dreams makes it a lot easier because it only costs 3, and Obnixilis costs 5. So this deck is a little bit more streamlined. So.
And it seems so harmless.
It does seem, yeah.
Oh, 1 damage?
Yeah, I'll take 1.
You just I draw 1 card, 1 card a turn.
Oh, and
Big
there's
deal.
another kill condition, which is how I won the last game. There's a folio of fancies in the deck. There's just 1.
Like I'll pay the credit card debt off next month.
I'll do it next time.
Every month. I just pay it off every month. Yeah, right.
And it says the folio of fancies is an artifact that says players have no maximum hand size, so both players can have as many cards in their hand as you want. For double X, each player draws X cards. So for every 2 that you pay, everybody draws 1.
Okay.
So I had like 27 mana available, so I paid 20, and my opponent drew 10 cards, and I had 2 Underworld Dreams out, and they took 20 damage. So that's you just force your opponent to draw cards. Good game. Oh, you got 40 cards in your hand? Yeah, good game. So that's a lot of fun. We'll put that in there. That's definitely a like let's just play it in a standard event or like play it for fun because it's definitely not a
Good spark. That's good removal.
Yeah.
1
yeah.
black, 1 white. Exile target permanent with converted mana cost 4 great.
This deck is literally all removal spells, aside from 4 Underworld Dreams and 4 Underworld Dreams, 4 Smothering Tithes, and 4 Emergency Powers. Everything else is removal. It's just all like tempo stuff, removal, and card draw stuff. It just kind of keeps the only thing that you lose to is counter spells, which is why Teferi's in there, and like a bunch of fast creatures. So it's a lot of fun though. All right, so we'll go. All right. I tried playing this. So I saw our friend Time Walk TV, who is a streamer and YouTube content creator. Time Walk TV. Shout out to Ron from Time Walk TV. Really friendly guy. Has building up a really cool little community. And I saw him playing this 5-color Niv Mizzet Fires of Invention deck. So it's the 3rd one down there. You should probably see it right there, right?
Yep.
And so this revolves around Fires of Invention, which a lot of decks recently have been using Fires of Invention, and that's the let's just look at it so we can refresh your memory there. Fires of Invention is the red enchantment for 3 colorless and 1 red, and it says you may cast spells only during your turn. You can only cast 2 spells during your turn. And then it says you may cast spells with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control without paying their mana cost. So if you have 5 lands out, you don't have to tap them to play your spells. You can play something in your hand
Oh yeah, I remember.
for 5 or less. Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
I remember now.
Okay, so that's what this kind of revolves around. You have a bunch of really big spells and some ramp spells. You get a bunch of lands out so you can play anything in your hand. Same thing happened with this deck. I tried playing like 5 matches with it, and every single one was like, got a whole bunch of lands out, just couldn't get the cards to win the game. So this is a different version. It has Niv-Mizzet Reborn in it. So Niv-Mizzet Reborn is pretty neat in concept, in theory. So Niv-Mizzet Reborn costs 1 of each color mana. It costs a white, a blue, a black, a red, and a green. Costs 5.
Okay.
It's a 6/6 flyer. And then when Niv-Mizzet Reborn enters battlefield, you reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each color pair, choose a card that's exactly those colors from among them. Put the chosen cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom in any order. Now, the deck, so just for explanation's sake, the deck is running a whole bunch of cards from the different color pairs. There's 10 different color pairs.
Okay.
Okay, they're the guilds, right? There's red-white, there's green-blue, there's black-green, there's white-blue, right?
Yeah.
So that's the concept. So it's running a whole bunch of cards from those guilds. So the concept is you play Niv-Mizzet on turn 4, because you'll probably have 5 lands out by turn 4, because there's ramp in it. And then you look at the top 10 cards of your library, and you get to pick if you have a red-blue spell, and then you have a green-black spell, and then you have a blue-white spell, and then you have a red-white. You can take all of those, because they all differ.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So they have to be corresponding color pairs, and then for however many that are in those top 10, you can take them into your hand. So it's like drawing cards, but you're actually putting them in your hand. And then you have Fires of Invention out, and then you basically just win the game, because you have a whole bunch of spells, right?
Yeah.
That are like, in theory, they're great. So the same thing freaking happens.
Seems really powerful.
Seems really powerful, right?
How can you lose?
How can you lose, right? I watch everybody win, so that's why I played the deck. I was like, oh, this is awesome. You got board clears, you got draw spells, you got big flying dragons, you got play super cool cards. For me, I play 13 lands and have like another like draw spell in my hand that's like a growth spiral, so I can play another land. It was just like lucky, not luck of the draw, but just like bad draws each time, because I was able to do the thing that it's supposed to do, and that's ramp out lands. And in concept, you're like, okay, I'm ramping out a whole bunch of lands, so that means the chances of drawing lands is less, right? Because you have more lands out of your deck. Wasn't really working for me.
Discovery Dispersal. The
Yep.
Dispersal. It looks like he's holding a Hearthstone mana crystal.
Oh yeah, it does.
That looks exactly like a mana crystal.
See, I told you, they sit in a boardroom.
What does
together.
Dispersal say?
Dispersal says each opponent returns a non-land permanent they control with the highest converted mana cost of permanents in play, and then discard a card from their hand. So if you have a 1, 2, and a 3 casting cost in play, they return the 3 casting costs to their hand, and then have to discard a card.
Oh.
So if they don't have anything in their hand, they have to toss that card.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but it returns like a big thing to their hand.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so whatever.
So if they return it, that you basically remove it.
Yeah.
If they don't have anything in their hand.
Right, and then the discovery part, you get to draw a card. You get to look at the top 2 cards and then draw. But so the deck has growth spirals, of course, to ramp and draw cards. It has 2 Hydroid Krasis to make big creatures and also draw cards and gain life. It has Deafening Clarions to clear the board and give your stuff lifelink. It has Teferis, because Teferi is in every deck that runs islands. Euro, again, to gain life, draw cards, and ramp out. 4 Fires of Invention, that's one of your key combo cards. 2 Kenriths to just do the thing that Fires of Invention does. It's able to play a creature without tapping your lands, and then Kenrith gives everybody haste and trample until end of turn, and essentially you're supposed to like play 2 huge creatures, then attack with both of them on the same turn because he turns everybody on. 1 red mana turns everybody on, and they attack.
Okay.
Escape to the Wild is sort of a draw spell that lets you ramp lands out. So it says exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may play cards exiled this way until the end of the turn, and you may also play an additional land this turn. So you get an extra land drop, and you can play. Basically gives you 5 extra cards to play for a whole turn cycle. To the next spell, to the next turn. 3 Niv Mizzets, 1 Casualties of War, 1 Dream Trawler, which is just like the best card that I've seen in a long time. I love that card. And the reason these cards are in there is because they're the color pairs. Like, you notice Casualties of War is black and green. And
I was noticing all those dual lands. They're beautiful.
Yeah. And then
those are so cool. I would love to play with those. Yeah.
So the land base is pretty solid. It's got 1 of each basic land, 4 Fabled Passages, and then a whole bunch of the dual lands. It's good in best of 3 also. I'm missing 1 card in the sideboard by accident. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. I mean, I just didn't. Again, I was like ramping it. That's the thing. I really like land decks that ramp out land. Like put a whole bunch of land in play and then play big things. I'm just like not getting the big things. I'm getting like almost there, but my opponents are getting more time to set up, and then like I can't deal with like more than a few creatures. Like I can play like a big like once I have a Beanstalk Giant because there's Beanstalk Giants in there. You can play like a big like 9/9 Beanstalk Giant, but that's only going to block 1 thing. Like if they have a flyer and then they have like a Nissa out that's making like lands into 3/3s, you're just overrun. So you do have the Deafening Clarions, but you're not always going to have one. So it's a little tough. You got to choose your spots, but the concept there is like Fires of Invention, then a Kenrith, and then or Fires of Invention, a Niv Mizzet, and then a Kenrith, and then you should win the game. But I haven't seen that yet. So
back in the day, that Beanstalk Giant would have an X/X in the bottom corner, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But now they're like, we just assume there's nothing there in the digital picture I'm looking at.
Star.
Yours has a star? Mine does not have a star on the other side of the table.
Really?
And it doesn't have the adventure there.
It doesn't have it?
It doesn't have that or the adventure.
That's
look,
weird.
Rachel, look. Look at this. Look, and
yeah,
now
no, the adventure's not on.
And now look at his.
Weird.
Isn't that weird?
Why?
I don't know. Oh, I wonder what it looks like when you go on to your Discovery Dispersal too. Let me see what that looks like. Oh, mine is the other way. Yours are facing that way, and you can see both the text on both. But mine is just the pictures, and then you have to click, and it only says what one it says.
Weird.
Very interesting.
Very weird. What browser are you using?
Firefox.
That might be it.
Maybe that's it.
Try Chrome.
I'm a Google Chrome. Okay, so and then the last deck, that deck will be in the show notes. The last deck I was playing, and I hate to admit it.
What? What, is it a top tier deck? Uh-oh. What?
I think we all know.
Cat Oven?
No.
Were you playing fucking
Mono Red?
Mm-hmm.
Traitor.
Even I can't win with it.
You are a traitor.
Can't win. I can't win. I can't win.
Oh, Red. It's entitled Red.
Yeah. Red. Red is everywhere right now. Red is everywhere. Red got really good with Theros with the addition of this 1 card, Annex, Hardened in the Forge.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty much, and another creature, Phoenix of Ash. It's a 2/2 haste flyer that comes back.
Wow.
So Mono Red got really good. I decided to give it a shot. I built a version kind of similar to all the other versions. Cards that I'm running that I don't see in other versions are Slaying Fire, which is the instant that deals 4 damage if you pay 3 red mana, but otherwise it'll deal 3. So it always does 4 damage. And the other card that I'm playing that not a lot of people are using is Infuriate, which is the 1 red that gives a creature +3/+2 until end of turn. So in my head,
That's good.
in my head, that card is basically like a lightning bolt, right?
Mhm.
For one red, you're adding 3 more damage to a spell. My version is 4 Fervent Champions, 4 Infuriate, 4 Scorch Spitter, 4 Shocks, 4 NNX, 4 Bone Crusher Giants, 4 Light Up the Stage, 4 Phoenix of Ash, 3 Slaying Fires, and 4 Ember Cleaves. Now, the problem I've been running into is I can never Ember Cleave, and everybody that I play against is always Ember Cleaving. Like, by turn 3, they have 3 attackers and 3 lands, and their Ember Cleave is cheaper, and they're able to put their Ember Cleave on something big and I die. And for me, I'm like, can't even get more than 2 creatures out at a time. 6 out of 18 lands I'm drawing. Like, it's just, so the cycle of bad draws and stuff is on the like downside for me right now, which is why I keep just seesawing on the ladder, because I'm like, I got an opponent to 1, and I was at 20, and they were playing that deck. The first deck, the Wilderness Reclamation expansion explosion deck, and they beat me. I got them to 1 damage, 1 health point, and I couldn't draw a single thing to do 1 extra point of damage, and they got me.
Okay, so each attacking creature you control, so you want to play it Ember Cleave for free, and then it gives it trample and double strike,
and +1/+1.
and
Yeah.
+1/+1.
So essentially, if you attack with 4 attackers, Ember Cleave becomes it costs 2 red, because the colorless gets reduced by each attacker.
Okay.
And then you play it for 2 red because it has flash. So it's the surprise, right? It's like your big sword comes out,
Yeah.
and then that creature gets +1/+1, trample, and double strike. And that's usually like a game ender, because if they block it, the creature will usually kill whatever creature it blocks, then trample over, and then it gets to do damage to you. It does it 2 times. So that's usually what the point is. And you put it on your biggest creature, because that'll do the most damage. The deck is the simplest thing to play. It's just
You're gonna keep playing that.
yeah, it's really
Put
aggressive.
a couple of ball lightnings in there.
Paper value, $96. I wonder what's expensive in this deck. Probably Ember Cleaves. I think they're probably $15 a piece now.
That seems fun to me.
Yeah,
I love that. It seems so easy and fun.
Yeah, it's red. I mean, it's super simple. I might have to take out Infuriates and just put in another 1-drop creature that has haste.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, there's a Tin Street Dodger is like a 1/1 with haste that you can pay 1 red and make it unblockable. So that's the other version I might go with. But I don't know. I was trying. It didn't help. I mean, it didn't work.
Oh my god, Slaying Fire. That is the coolest art. Oh my god. I love that. It's a fire spear. It's fierce.
Fierce. So that's my version of red. I'm just gonna keep at it. Just keep at it.
Keep at it. That's gonna win.
It's gotta win. I mean, it has to win. It's red. I mean, that's what it does. But yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got this week.
That's
I
awesome.
was trying. I'm gonna keep trying, and let me know what you think. Try out some of those decks if you have the cards, and let me know.
Yeah, we'll have all the links. All the links to the show notes will be in our Discord, discord.me/Mythic Legendaries. Again, that's discord.me/Mythic Legendaries. Please join us on the Discord, and please be a loudmouth and be vocal. Get the conversations rolling. We need you if you're talkative. Or not. If you want to lurk, that's fine too. But check in with us once in a while, because I get worried. I get worried sometimes when people disappear. And I ask Rich, have you heard from Perplexing Cat? Because is she okay? So, check in with us. Okay. Cancer?
Yeah, that's me.
Alright. And Leo. Okay. Cancer, this is from the Province Journal. You may feel somewhat helpless when people close to you refuse to face facts in the weeks ahead. So be aware. You may feel helpless, but you're not helpless. It's just a feeling.
It's okay.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Leo. Knowledge is power, but passion pushes the on button.
Hey.
Is there an on button right there?
My on button is not pushed, thankfully. I'm marking any alerts.
Knowledge is power, but passion pushes the on button. Okay. Alright, fair enough. Mine reads, for Gemini, differences of opinion will be insignificant barriers to communication if you are consistently tolerant and respectful this week. I wish I had read that earlier because I can be very impatient and I wish I had read that at the beginning of the day. So that's good advice. So we got
The noisiest paper.
Dear Rich.
Yeah, what do you want?
Alright, we got two headlines.
Okay.
Tell me which one speaks to you.
Alright.
Best friend is weary of new moms complaining. And unkind sister-in-law is causing a family rift.
Oh, do the sister.
Yeah, sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law.
Who cares about complaining?
Dear Rich,
What?
my husband is one of 3 brothers raised by a single mom who is one of the kindest, most caring people I know.
Mm-hmm.
She has also offered significant financial support to all her children.
Well, that's nice.
My husband is one of 3 brothers raised by a single mom who is one of the kindest. Okay, so great person.
So mom's good.
Mom's good. My husband's younger brother, Tom, let's call him Tom,
Well, already, name sucks.
is married to Sue, whom my husband has never cared for. Sue does not like our mother-in-law. During a recent visit, we were looking at photos on Facebook, and my mother-in-law realized she couldn't see them. Sue had blocked her. Shade. Shade. Oh my God. She was hurt. My husband sent a polite note. It was probably one of the kids being like, she must have blocked you. She wouldn't even know. Someone outed her.
That's happened in my family. Yeah.
Oh God. She was
So
hurt.
the Facebook blocking is one of the biggest insults nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was hurt. My husband sent a polite note to his brother, treating it as a technological blip, even though we both knew better. Tom basically said, "It's not my account. Talk to Sue if you have questions." Between the sending of the email and the reply, Sue also blocked me and my husband.
Ooh.
What?
Sue's a bitch.
We're used to our sister-in-law's unkindness, but it hurts to see my mother-in-law being shut out.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can think of is for my husband to have a come-to-Jesus talk with his brother about how Sue is treating their mom. But I doubt it would do anything. Tom seems to let his wife call the shots. So, signed L.
What you want to know? That just seems like she vented.
Here's what we know for sure. The brothers have the same mom and grew up in the same household, but all 3 completely different people. We need advice, Rich and Rachel. We need advice here. How do we deal with this situation of the sister-in-law blocking everybody? What would you do?
I would do this and not worry about
Middle
it.
finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No contact.
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
No, you want to block? You want to block me? Cool, fine.
Yeah.
Go do your own thing. You're not worth it. No, that's my advice.
Not worth it. Not worth
What
the
is
thought, not
what
worth
does
the
Sue
being
contribute?
hurt.
What does Sue contribute to you that you need them to see your life or you need to see their life? You know, like if it was your mom, right? Then you'd be like, "Whoa, mom, you blocked me, what or whatever." You know, that's a different like kind of family dynamic. But if it's your Sue is what your
Sister-in-law.
sister-in-law? Fuck your sister-in-law. Who cares?
Do you think that we should talk to the brother to get
No,
him to talk
too
to
much.
the sister?
No.
Too much.
because he's
Too-
not going to change.
Too much.
Their
I don't think they're
relationship
gonna
has its-
last.
Well, their relationship already has its dynamic set, so.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that. Maybe they shouldn't have bossed Tom around so much when he was little, and he wouldn't like bossy women.
Hey now, that's deep.
Yeah.
Deep cuts with Rachel.
Yep, deep cuts with Rachel. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would. And my initial reaction, and probably my real life reaction, would be like, okay, okay. I wouldn't want to worry about it, you know. Like I wouldn't put more energy into it.
Have you ever blocked someone on Facebook?
No, I've never had Facebook. Thank God.
I deleted mine, and my meme thought that I blocked her.
Oh.
No, there's been like I said, there's been incidents in my family with like kind of within the last few years of like family blocking or
I don't like the retaliatory. I don't like the retaliatory. I'm gonna. Oh, now there's an issue. Guess what? You're all getting
exactly.
blocked.
That's exactly what happened.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, and that's
gonna be awkward on the holidays.
Yeah.
To have to see her.
Well, just
well,
don't
she's
go.
not invited anymore.
Yeah, no contact. Bye.
See what she did though?
Yeah.
See what she did? She blocked someone on Facebook and now she's not invited to fucking Christmas Eve.
That's it.
Now we got a
Too
big
bad.
problem.
Too bad, Sue. Shouldn't have been such a bitch.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to say, I just want to say though, that's true. There's a big consequence sometimes for these little things, little passive aggressive things you can do online.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes have big real world consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And we just uninvited Sue to fucking Christmas and Thanksgiving. So, hey fam. MLP for life, okay? We're gonna just be careful about our temper. And like my horoscope says, this ties into my horoscope, which says differences of opinion will be insignificant barriers to communication if you are consistently tolerant and respectful this week.
Yeah.
So let's try to all be respectful and tolerant.
Yeah.
Okay, not everyone.
Not everybody's gonna have the same opinion, but you
Yeah.
can respect and tolerate.
And don't make me jerk. Like,
Don't uninvite me to Christmas.
right. Let's not
I mean,
block anybody.
don't block me. Don't uninvite me. I want to go to Christmas.
For everyone listening, if you're still with us, thank you. Check your block list. It might be time to unblock.
Check your block list.
It might be time to unblock a few. All right, this is 2020.
Let's come on.
Be more tolerant.
Come on.
Just don't post anything on Facebook. Just post on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then just Anyway, okay.
All right.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Good job.
Deep cuts with Rachel. Episode 33.
3
Coming to a close.
Larry Legend.
Please come back for episode 34. Thank you so much for listening. Please tell a friend. Connect with us on Discord, like I said, to show your support for the show. We're advertisement free, commercial free.
We are produced by Talking Into Microphones.
We're produced by Talking to Microphones. And we love you guys so much. Thanks so much for listening. We're on Twitter at Mythic Legendaries. Search Mythic Legendaries. We got some contests coming up, I'm sure, for the new expansions coming out. Always so connect with us there on Twitter, where we always announce about our contests. And leave us a review on iTunes, please. 5 stars, a quick review. Just say like good show or something like that. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Hope to connect with you. Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Angora belongs to the Titans.
Bye.
And then I asked Rich, like, have you heard from her clip? I did see her post something on Twitter today.
Oh, really?
So yeah, she disappeared. And she was a contributor to our Discord.
Yes.
I was making conversations happen and stuff. And then she was just disappeared for a few weeks. So I was like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
2 shows.
2 shows.
How long was
Jesus.
the second one?
Hour and 40.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Good job.
Good job.
I'll zone out and do puzzles all the time.
All right. So close.
Oh my god, it's gonna feel like such a long break.
I know, because we're not doing next week, right? So
Right.
that was next week.
Yeah.
And then I gotta do that. I gotta do 32 tonight, and I'll put it up. And then 33. Well, I could even, yeah. I can even do it whenever. Do you want to eat? Do you want to do that?
Are you hungry? I
Yeah.
am.
I only have a slice of pizza and some snacks. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lion noodles?
Line city noodles.
Rice
No
noodles.
egg. Extra wide.
I just want to eat whatever you guys recommend.
Extra wide.
I want squishies.
I want squishies. Two
I
orders
want
of squishies.
squishies.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you need to go for a walk, huh? He hasn't been out. I'm gonna bring him out real quick.
Okay.
I'll be right back.